You heard the sentence leave your mouth, and you could not stop it. The one designed to hurt, aimed with terrible precision at the soft spot only you know about. Because only someone this close could know it. The door slammed, or the call ended, and for a few minutes you felt righteous. And then the heat drained away, and you stood there in the wreckage of what you said, thinking the thing everyone thinks. That was not me. I did not mean that. 20 minutes ago, you were a person who loves them. Then, briefly, you were someone who wanted to wound them. Now you are yourself again, holding the damage, wondering how both of those people live in one body. Here is what I want to show you. What anger actually does inside you. It is stranger and more specific than just getting heated. Where it really comes from, which is not where it seems to come from. And the one small gap where you can catch it before it speaks in your name. The Bhagavad Gita maps the anatomy of an outburst in 2 verses. And the map is so precise, it could have been written by a neuroscientist last year. It traces the chain. Dwell on something and attachment forms. From attachment comes wanting. Calm, the pull toward one particular outcome. And then the hinge. Krodh. When the want is blocked, anger is born. And then the verse describes what anger does, step by step. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. From anger comes delusion. From delusion, the failure of memory. And from there, the verse ends flatly. One is lost. Read the middle step again, because it is the whole answer. Anger destroys memory. Not your memory of facts. You still knew their name while you were shouting. It destroys the memory of what matters, of who this person is to you, of the years of love, of everything they have carried for you, of who you have decided to be. All of that context, the entire weight of the relationship, goes briefly offline. And a person with no access to what matters, armed with perfect knowledge of where it hurts, says the sentence. So that was not me, is almost accurate. It was you, minus your memory of everything you value. That is what Krodh is. Not extra passion. A temporary amnesia of the heart, with the voice still switched on. Now the second thing the verse hands you, quietly, in that hinge. Anger is born from thwarted wanting. Under every flash of anger, every single one, there is something you wanted and did not get. Respect, and you felt dismissed. Acknowledgement, and you felt invisible. Control, and things slipped. Safety, and something threatened it. Trace any outburst down honestly, and you find the want underneath. Usually something soft, often something a little vulnerable. Anger is that softness wearing armor. It is pain or fear that has decided it is safer to attack than to ask. This is why arguing with the anger itself never resolves anything. The anger was never the real message. It was the armored delivery of a want that felt too exposed to say plainly. I wanted you to notice me. I was scared. I needed that to go well. The fight is almost never about the dishes. So what do you do with it? The two usual answers both fail. Suppression fails. Swallow the anger, say nothing, and it does not vanish. It ferments and comes out sideways, later, colder. Venting fails too. Letting it rip does not release the anger, it rehearses it. And it fires the sentence you cannot take back. The wave, once it is up, cannot be argued down and should not be obeyed. But there is a third option, and it lives in a fact about your body. Anger arrives in the body before it arrives in words. The heat in the face, the jaw setting, the chest rising, the hands wanting to move. That physical surge comes first, always. The words come a beat later. Between the two, there is a gap, small but real. You cannot choose whether the wave rises. That was never in your control. What sits in the gap is one single choice. Whether you speak while the wave is up. So 3 moves, and they are small enough to actually work. First, learn your tell. Everyone's body announces anger in its own way. The heat, the jaw, the tight chest. The sudden loudness of your own heart. Find yours. That signal is your early warning. And noticing it is the same muscle we keep training, pointed at the 2 seconds that matter most. Second, in the gap, do not speak. That is the whole discipline. Not calm down, not let it go, nothing so ambitious. Just, not while the wave is up. Say the one honest sentence that buys you the space. I need a minute. That is a complete sentence. And it has saved more relationships than every clever argument ever made. The old counsel about the furious letter applies to everything now. Write it if you must. Do not send it tonight. The anger will read differently in the morning. Because in the morning, your memory of what matters will be back online. And the author of that message will have become someone you do not fully agree with. Third, afterwards, when the wave has passed, trace it down. Ask the only useful question, what did I want and not get? Find the soft thing under the armor. And then, when you are ready, speak from the want instead of from the anger. I felt dismissed in there. I was scared. I needed that to matter to you. The want, said plainly, can be heard and can actually be answered. The anger guarantees it never will be. Because armor speaking to armor is just noise. The sentence you regret was fired by someone who had forgotten. Forgotten who they love, forgotten who they are, forgotten everything except where it hurts. That is not your character. That is Crowd doing exactly what the old verse says it does. Your character lives in the gap. In the 2 seconds between the heat rising and the mouth opening. You will not win every one of those. Nobody does. But every time you catch the wave before it speaks and give it a minute and go looking for the want underneath, you are doing the thing the verse is really teaching. Not the conquest of anger. The keeping of memory. Staying, even in the heat, someone who remembers what matters.